Welcome back. It's time for Pretender Contender. John Jones is the topic of tonight's Contender Pretender. So we'll start with you. What do you think of him? Is he a contender or is he a pretender?
Contender. He is definitely a contender. He's beating everyone they're throwing at him in dominant fashions. He's just destroying everybody. And people that are supposed to be better wrestlers than him, and he's young, and he's beating all these guys in dominant fashion, I think he's a contender.
I agree. I just think he's too good all around, and it's been a while since we've seen somebody this good all around. Incredible stand-up, incredible ground game. It's hard to imagine him falling off anytime soon. Somebody's really got to step up if they want to beat this kid.
They do.
All right, and it's time to get to our picks. We promised everybody we'd get to them tonight. UFC 117, Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva. Of course, 4 great fights on that card.
Oh, yeah.
DeSantos, Roy Nelson. We'll start with that one. Junior DeSantos, 11-1. 11-1. He's beaten Gabriel Gonzaga, Fabricio Verdun, Stefan Struve. All first round knockouts. Also a big one for him against Mirko Krokop. Dominant, huge right hand, huge left hand. It's just big striker, intimidating kid. Roy Nelson, no slouch either. Ultimate Fighter heavyweight winner. We all remember him dominating Kimbo. He also beat Struve and Brandon Shaw and 15-4 in his career. It's going to be a good fight, and it's effectively for the #1 contender for the heavyweight championship. So, what do you think?
I think with the stand-up, I think that Dos Santos is way too fast. He's got too much speed, and they're heavyweights. They have a lot of power. Knock him out quickly. But on the case with Nelson, he has some decent stand-up. He's slower than Dos Santos, but if he takes him to the ground and lays on him like he does with his other opponents, then I think he'll win the fight.
So you're going with DeSantos. I agree. I think DeSantos first round knockout, actually. So should be a great fight. I'm excited to see it. I think we all are. And both guys have a lot to prove, just as they do in Ricardo Almeida and Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes trying to show the world that he's still the Matt Hughes they remember.
We'll see if he can do it.
Inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame this year. Great wrestler, 44-7 for his career. He's fighting Ricardo Almeida though, no knockouts, a submission fighter, and only 5-3 since entering the UFC. But he's of course trained under the legendary Gracie flag with the Gracies in Brazil. I like Hughes. His wrestling is incredible, and I don't know. I think he's going to be too much for Almeida. So hopefully this fight lives up to what a lot of people think it's going to be in a really, really great wrestling showcase. But I just got to give the edge to Matt Hughes because I think it's going to be a ground fight, and I just think he's got the advantage.
I give the match to Hughes too. He's more experienced. He's way well experienced. He's had the title before. He's older, yeah, but I think he's going to be this younger guy with less experience.
And then the fight that is just as exciting to me is Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva is John Fitch, Thiago Alves. You gotta love Alves. Kid's awesome. And Fitch, he's already holds a knockout win in the second round over Alves. A little while ago, an American Kickboxing Academy fighter, 23-3, #2 welterweight in the world. A lot of people upset that he didn't get a shot at GSP over Koscheck, even though obviously they both had their shots. And just a lot of, some upset that he didn't get in there. But in any case, #2 welterweight in the world. And Thiago Alves is just Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's beat Koscheck, he's beat Hughes, he's beat Chris Lytle. This guy's the real deal too. Who do you like in the fight?
I think I'm liking Alves. He's come a long way. His striking's even better than it was before. His striking is way better than Fitch's. His striking's better, but when it comes to ground, Fitch's ground is way better than Alves, but I think he might try to stand with him, and I think Alves has got this one.
I'm actually going to disagree on this one. I like Fitch. I thought a lot about this pick in particular, and it just seemed to me like Fitch's wrestling is just... It's hard to imagine him losing right now to anybody but GSP or Koscheck to me. As much as I like Alves, I just can't see him beating Fitch. But, we'll see. Of course, the middleweight championship on the line at the end of the night. A fight that me and you have talked endlessly about is Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva. Yeah. So, Silva's the man. The number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now.
Is.
Great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters, and as Chael Sonnen has pointed out many times, trained under the Nogueira brothers.
Yeah.
Sonnen's got the trash talk. Silva's got the resume. Who do you like?
Well, here's the thing. What I'm thinking is the fights, it's going to be stand-up to start. Silva's going to be too fast for him. Sonnen's going to try to take him down. And he's going to take him down and pound on him. But what I think he's going to realize is that Silva's jiu-jitsu is much better than what he's expecting. And I think he's going to catch him in something and submit him. I'm choosing Silva.
All right, I'm going to disagree with you again here. And I'm actually going to pick Chael Sonnen, which is a pick that actually probably going to surprise a lot of people. Silva, definitely the odds-on favorite. I'm not going to argue that point. And Chael Sonnen has some pretty disappointing moments in his career that Silva really hasn't had. But the trash talk leading up to the fight's been the focus. What people haven't focused on is Chael Sonnen himself and the fact that he's never lost at middleweight. Every loss he's had in his career has come at light heavyweight. And it just seems to me that when he goes to the ground, that suffocating offense is something that Silva hasn't seen in a while. And not that Silva's gotten complacent. We saw in an interview with him that Lyoto Machida was also part of, that he's been training hard for the fight. Training 10 rounds, at a time.
10 rounds.
It's impressive.
It is.
But Chael Sonnen's beaten some good fighters himself. Yushin Okami he's beat. And any fans of WEC will remember his 2 fights with Paulo Filho. Paulo Filho's undefeated otherwise if you don't count his fights with Chael Sonnen. He did win the first one. But his second fight comes in 17 pounds heavy. Big, strong. Chael Sonnen just completely dominates him. And that's a very big, strong Paulo Filho. And I think when you look at Silva at middleweight, you lose a little power fighting at middleweight as opposed to some of those light heavyweights, some of those strong guys at light heavy. And although Anderson Silva is a natural light heavyweight, well, he's fought at light heavyweight, he certainly has no problem getting up to light heavyweight, strong guy himself. I just feel that Sonnen has proved time and time again that middleweight is his division, beating guys like Paulo Filho. So I'm going to actually take Sonnen by decision. So I think that kind of wraps up tonight's show. Make sure you tune in again. We'll be talking on Monday. We'll have our reactions to UFC 117.
Yes, we will.
See, one of us will be eating our words there a few times. And we'll also get into James Toney and his big fight coming up with Randy the Natural Couture. Boxer versus MMA guy. I think it's something you're going to start to see. Anderson Silva's definitely hinted around about wanting to do it.
There's going to be some controversy.
It could be a great one, but, it just seems to me that, James Toney is definitely stepping into Randy Couture's element, and that's automatically a disadvantage. But again, we'll get into that next episode. We'll also talk some WEC, some more Strike Force, some more breaking news maybe, and we'll get into Rashad Evans and Mauricio Shogun Hua. Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. Please join us again on Monday, where we'll hit all those topics we mentioned.